So I had this student, and I think that this is a really helpful story because it kind of highlights why I think these classes are so important, right? So this friend of mine, she had been living in the United States for like 10 years. She's been here a long time. She still lives here, was married to an American man. So she was, and working in an American restaurant, and everybody speaks English all day. So she was really primed to have good growth in English. She had all of the steps, right? She had access to English. She was able to practice every day, but there was something missing. So even though she had all these, this great opportunity to make her English super awesome, super perfect, she still had problems. So we were in my class. She had asked me, Jill, can you, teach me and my sister a couple days a week with English? And I said, well, sure. Why? Your English is great. And she's like, well, sometimes I have to repeat myself, or sometimes I'm having problems and I just don't understand why they can't understand me. And so it's really frustrating. And she's like, man, I thought that I had this really high level of English, but it's not working, So I said, sure. Yeah. So we did a lot of like advanced grammar work. And then I always like to teach pronunciation. So during our class, we were reading something together. So I read this sentence, and then she and her sister, they were echoing me or repeating what I was saying. So I read a sentence that had the word salmon in it. Okay, salmon. And again, these are two women who were in my class who had been in the United States for a long time, had studied English for a super long time, but so I said this sentence, and she said, teacher, can you say that again? And I was like, sure. Read the sentence again. And I said the word salmon at the end. And she's like, oh, is that how you pronounce the word salmon? And I was like, well, yeah. So she's like, well, oh my gosh, I have been saying salmon for like 15 years. So she was saying it how it looks, which is totally understandable. But again, English is not phonetic. So she was saying salmon when we don't say it that way, at least in American English. We say salmon. Okay, so here's what we say. And maybe you guys know this already. Okay, like I said, if you've taken other classes or watched any of my videos, you might have heard this story before. But so this is how we pronounce this word. And again, this is just one of those kind of whoops. Oh, how did I not know that scenarios? But I will tell you what, she was mortified. Okay, she was like, oh, and she worked in a restaurant that had salmon on the menu. So she was like, oh my gosh, I've been saying this to people as salmon forever, and no wonder they're looking at me like I'm a crazy person. So here's the problem there. So the problem is, the good things were she had access to English. She was married to an American guy. She has all day input in English. So she's listening to English all day. Super great opportunity for her to be, more fluent with English. But what she didn't have, the key piece in, especially with pronunciation and fluency, is feedback. Okay, feedback. What is feedback? Feedback means nobody ever told her she was saying it wrong. Okay, nobody told her. And why didn't they? Because at least in American culture, it feels really, really uncomfortable to correct somebody. They might feel embarrassed. You're gonna feel kind of like a jerk. And so it just, in general, it doesn't happen. Maybe in a very close, maybe her husband could have said something because they are, very close. But so anyways, my story, the point is that, when you have an English teacher, like in these classes, I'm going to tell you when you make that kind of a mistake. And needless to say, that student never again mispronounced this word, because I was able to help her recognize this kind of mistake that she was making.